Well. Look at this, a packed house. Holy cow. Well, I won't go overboard, but hey, welcome to Coffee and Kalashnikovs, and welcome back to the Rockford Ordnance. Tonight, we got a good topic. We're going to talk about favorites. Favorites in each category of firearms, whether that's shotguns, rifles, precision, pistol caliber carbines, pistols, what have you. We're going to talk about it all. And it's a hard subject, right? Because there's so many good ones out there to choose from. And what kind of kicked it off for me was I was watching Veteran 8888, and he did a follow-up video on a really cool pistol, braced pistol, and that was the little Ruger, the Charger. Pretty neat little pistol. It breaks down, and it just so happened he had the same brace on it. Glock mags, red dot. Actually, he had an ACSS one power prism from Primary Arms, and I was glad to see him come back out with that video because, when that thing came out, all the attention was on the pistol caliber carbine version of it, and it got some attention, but not a ton. And if you guys remember back when I got mine, it was kind of a spur of the moment purchase. I was actually there buying a TX22 and GC, whatever the Taurus is, GC4, is it? They were both like on sale, $250 each. I could have got them both together cheaper than the Ruger, but the Ruger was like under 600, like $599. And I thought, that's kind of cool. And what hooked me was that detachable barrel, and it was just cool. And like I said in the video, once you do it a couple of times, it's like, the fun's over. But it's still cool to do. It's like the movies, how the movies, when they put the tri-lug on, it's just, and that's kind of how it is with the barrel. So it was kind of cool. And I don't have any suppressed units. So, next best thing, I guess, right now, kind of cool. But I did a quickie video on that thing. I shot it 1 or 2 days and just kind of put it aside. 9 was hard to come by. And I thought, if I'm going to shoot 9, it's going through one of my Scorpions or something like that, because those are so much fun. But he really, really liked that Ruger. Nothing but good things to say about it. And who knows, I think it's his gun, but they get stuff free. I think it was more a push on that ACSS prism scope, probably getting a little dough from Primary Arms or something. But either way, he was just rocking that thing and hitting at 50 yards like nothing. I mean, continuously. It's like the Scorpion. There's no recoil in these things. And that Ruger, it's heavy. People complained about that it was too heavy. I don't think so. I think it quality, because it's all metal for the most part, a little bit of polymer. But that heaviness just makes it sit there and just stay on target. It never leaves. You never lose your sight picture, and you just keep hammering. It's so much fun. It's almost boring, but yet when you're shooting steel, it's so much fun. There's nothing better than just ping, 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 ping. That thing just ringing away. You feel like John Wick or something. It's kind of cool. So anyhow, it spurred me to take that thing out to the range the other day, and just had a bunch of fun with it. So plate racks are nothing. I mean, I'm like the Army shooting team fast with that thing on a plate rack. It's crazy. It's just a lot of fun. And still messing around, deciding what side I want the charging handle on, stuff like that. But man, this thing's almost as much fun as the Scorpions. It's my favorite. And I thought, well, God, I don't know. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a live stream with favorites, and I'm not going to flim flam it. And I'm not going to say, well, I like this one, but this one's cool. And well, I like both. And so I really don't have a favorite. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you my favorites, and that's going to be that. So we'll get into that in a bit. Right before we jump on here, I was going through the chat and noticing a few things. For once, somebody else is first here. David Inglesby, I believe he's, I want to dox you, but you're in Northern Illinois, let's just say. I just saw a comment or something you said. And was it you that got out to the range? Yeah, he got out to the range to do some shooting this weekend, which he said was exciting because he's got 2 little ones at home. And all I'm going to tell you is this: shootings, you get the itch during the week and you can taste it. You want to go to the range and you want to do this and that. And I'm going to try out this and I'm going to bring that. And you're getting ready. But man, spend the time with those little ones, because and I'm not kidding you, I know you've heard it a million times, but burn all of it into your memory, ingrain every bit of it. I can't remember giving my kids a bottle, stuff like that. I was working too hard in those days, man. And now my oldest is getting married, and I spent the last 2 weeks getting her. She bought a townhouse with her fiance, and we basically made it completely new. I mean, from some drywall, but paint, floors, window coverings, lighting fixtures, plate, everything that could be, appliances. I think everything but some hardwoods, and the counters are new, everything. So she gets to move in a brand new house and decorated the way she wants with her future husband. And he's a really good kid, and enjoy it, because just yesterday I was in that hospital waiting for it to be born premature a little bit, and it flew by, and it was a ton of fun. And enjoy it. It's way better than shooting. Yeah, we do the rest to protect them, right? But make sure, and I'm sure you will, raise those kids right, teach them respect for our hobbies, and teach them about the Constitution and the Second Amendment, because God knows our schools just might not, right? Anyways, I hope you guys are having a decent week, and hopefully this breaks up your week a little bit, and you can have a little bit of fun. I'm glad I read the comments, and I'm glad to hear some of you guys looking forward to this. David said 65 minutes until go time, and he actually said ho time. What are you trying to say, David? But a bunch of you guys, I'm just glad you're looking forward to being here. I look forward to it. There's sometimes during the week it's like, what am I going to talk about? And maybe I should just relax tonight. And then I got it out early, so obviously you guys got the notice. I got it out really early today, and apparently it's paying off, because there's a bunch of you guys in here. So we've got our coffee, we've got our Kalashnikovs surrounding us here, which you can't see, and that one up there that you can see. And we're going to talk about our favorites here. And I decided we're going to do a knife of the week. We're going to do some blades. A really cool old blade here that has become incredibly collectible. And it's not a bayonet. It's none of the knives you guys saw a couple weeks ago when I did the bayonet live stream. But this one's more or less a fighting knife. And it's legendary, literally legendary. Maybe some of you guys can take a guess in there as to what it will be. Let's just say it's post-World War II, but it's got some history. Anyhow, we're going to check in here on the chat a little bit. Orion Fixer's here. He says, Team Kalash. Hey, Joe and David, good to see. There is more than me. Looking forward to the stream. That's what I was talking about. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Sometimes you think, well, same old every week, and what am I going to tell them about? But there's always something to talk about, right? And I come up with it spur of the moment. Something will hit me, and I just go with it. I don't second guess it. We just do it. So what you get is me. That's it. I don't plan anything. I don't script anything. Nothing like that. Sometimes it's better than others. Sometimes it's less better, let's just say. Orion Fixer's in here. Good surprise every morning. Had the snow we normally have. Usually it's been colder than hell. The ice is probably 2.5 feet thick right now. We start driving on it when there's probably 6 inches. I've driven on less. They say 2 inches will support a locomotive, but I don't want to test it. Every lake has current still if they're spring fed, that kind of thing. People put out aerators for their piers, stuff like that. Not fun. I've been with a friend when he sunk a snowmobile. I've seen cars go through. Not seen anybody die, but it's not fun. It's a pain in the neck. But that sled that went through the ice, we had it out of the lake, back at his shop, dried out, running, and back on the trail in 3 hours. The only problem was the first bar we stopped at, we forgot one thing. All that foam in the seat, yeah, it held the water. When we came out of the bar, it was frozen solid. He had a terribly cold, hard ride home, but hey, what the hell? That's what you get when you're not paying attention. Let's see who else. Joe's in here. Good to see you, Joe. Joe's a staple here. All you guys all been here since the beginning, and I can't believe how many weeks it's been already. Just talking about AKs and everything. I put a little time this week into reloading some 30-06, and you guys know what that means, right? There's only one gun that I run that fires that honking big round. And a lot of guys, 30-06 is, if usually think if there's a non-gun person and you're talking about guns, there's always one round that they seem to know. And it's always 30-06. Well, I got a 30-06, or I shot a 30-06, or 30-06 is a great deer rifle, or whatever. People tend to know that caliber for whatever reason. The gun guys, I think a lot of times, because unless you're hunting with it or running American surplus rifle, you don't think much about 30-06. And when you pull one of those bullets out or you're reloading and you press that bullet in and you look at that, man, is that a honking round, ain't it? Just incredible ballistics. It's hard to beat that round. It really is. There's more accurate, there's faster, but man, something that just puts it all together. I mean, if you had to have one rifle, you wouldn't be doing too bad if that rifle was a 30-06. You really wouldn't. It'll take down anything in North America, including moose, including grizzly. For a 30 caliber bullet, it's fairly flat shooting. It can go the distance. Personal protection, man. I think back to all those bullets in World War II. Ours, the 30-06. 8mm Mauser, that looks even bigger than 30-06. 230 grain bullets in that thing. I mean, man, oh man, I'm loading 150s for the Grand. That's what it means. When I'm loading a 30-06, it's the Grand. That's what we're gonna shoot. So I've got some IMR powder that a friend sent to me, Fred, and it was, frankly, he made a mistake. We were talking about powders I needed. I had nothing really to load 30-06. I was out of Varget. I was out of anything to really load 30-06 with. And then when we started talking about the By 39 project, well, he mixed up that powder with one we were going to use and sent it. So didn't work out too well for the By 39 project, but I can load some Grand bullets. So we got a couple loads tomorrow, and it's funny, in the book, there's only a 1 grain difference between minimum and max. And this powder is, I think it's 4198 IMR. I think that's what it is. Don't quote me on that. But usually you got, a 2, 3, maybe 4 grain spread between minimum and max. This is like 1.3 or something like that. So I loaded up, what did I do? 49 grains and then a 50 grain round, and we'll see what it does. So we're going to have some fun with that, with 150 grain bullets and those peep sights, and we're going to have a good time. And we're going to get us some of the pings when the clip comes flying out of it. God, that's just so classic. I love it every time. You can never get enough of that noise. Somebody should do like a song or a recording to a popular song with all the different gun noises, cocking it, the ping, the mag, a shotgun, all that stuff. Be kind of cool. But we haven't done a grand video in a long time, so we'll do that. Last week, I told you we had a little surprise coming, that I had a shotgun coming and was going to bring you a video on it. Well, lo and behold, it hasn't got here yet. It's shipped, and it's in nowhere land right now. I know the FFL down south, so I'm going to have to call him and get a tracking number and see what the heck happened. Pretty sure he shipped it like Tuesday, maybe Thursday last week. Should have been here by now. I don't know. Hopefully it's not lost. But that's a Mossberg, their copy of the trench gun. So it's a 590, and I forget what they call it. Huh. It'll come to me. But it's got the wood stocks, the heat shield, and just cool. Just looks like a World War II trench gun. So I'm anxious to get it and try it, because we're going to do an all shotgun video. We're going to bring out the Vepr 12, which you guys have seen. That's all done up, and that thing runs fabulous, whether it's heavy loads or light loads, cycles it all. Took a lot of work to get it there, but it runs fine. We also have our VR80, which is a take on an AR-15 style 12 gauge. That thing has run magnificent out of the box since I got it. For any of you guys that have one of those, they do say right in the manual it requires break-in. By that, a lot of guys freak out and, oh, how do you do it? And it's going to take forever. No. Make sure you have the light piston in there, and then get yourself 25 slugs, run those through there, get yourself 25 rounds of 00 buck, run those, go to a high brass, number 6, number 5, 4, 7.5, whatever you have in a high brass 3-dram load, or you could run some 3-inchers through there, whatever you got laying around. And then switch over to something around 1,300 feet per second, maybe 1,350, and run a box of those. And after that, I've gotten that thing as low as running 2.5 dram loads, which are like 1,200 feet per second or so. Anything under that, there ain't many shotguns will run it in an automatic. But 1,250, if a gun's well broke in, clean, oiled, running well, 1,250 is nothing. And that just so happens to be what some of that Federal bulk pack is, and some of the Winchester bulk pack used to get at Walmart. Matter of fact, I don't know if Walmart still has it. I think they got shotgun shells everywhere. But God, they used to be so cheap, and you can just run the heck out of them. I will say the Federals do better. The Winchester, since they're not double A's, they've got like a cheaper, softer hull to them, and they just don't seem to run as well. I think that softer hull absorbs a little of the power from the ejector and that type of thing. So they just don't run as good. But so VR80, I've got a cheapy TriStar that we did a video on when the sight fell off. We soldered the front sight back on, and I'm not sure if I did a video on that or not. It would have made such a great video for you guys as far as gunsmith video goes, because that stuff happens, bead sights, this, that, and you can't use regular old plumbing solder. You got to use silver solder. And I did it without marring the finish, without having to finish it. You can't tell. it came out amazing. And uh, if I can find the footage, I'll definitely get you guys a video because it's interesting. It's easy. It's just taking your time and being careful and taking it to somebody that knows what they're doing, because you can easily take it somewhere and they're going to tell you, well, we got to refinish it. It's got to be whatever, Cerakoted or blued or this or that, especially on a nicer, more expensive shotgun, right? You always like to preserve the factory finish if you can. And some guys, maybe a little unscrupulous, will tell you, well, it's going to get all messed up and we're going to have to refinish it. And now a front sight's going to end up costing you $600. Well, that's crazy. That's crazy. If they take their time and do it right, you can get by. Yeah, I'm telling you, you guys can't tell. I'll have to show it to you. Anyways, it's a cheapy $200 TriStar that we modded out. Nobody could figure out the extended tube for these things. They were threaded different than anything else. If you have one, the originals were just TriStar. I think they were all called Cobras, but the original Cobra had it's a pump. When you pump it back, if you let it go, it's spring loaded. And they came with regular stocks and all, and they had a faux mag tube extender. Ended up sawing that off, not the barrel, the tube, and having to work with the threads that were there. And we got a tube to fit and the spring that works well. And now it holds a whole bunch of rounds and it works pretty darn well, actually. I want to thread it for choke tubes and add, I don't know, some goofy muzzle brake that screws into the choke tube threads, like a doorbuster or something, because that mag tube is about 1.5 inches longer than the barrel. Doesn't affect anything. The shot cups don't open up anywhere near that quickly, but it does get some of the blast, and it's eventually going to wear the anodizing off, and figured why not. So we'll bring you video chokes and adding a brake on there. And it was, I think, $199 shotgun back in the day. It's a kind of a Turkish copy of an 870. I don't feel the quality of me, and it will hold 3 inches. So that might be a gun we torture test and get it to break. But it's been laying around in pieces for years. Finally got it going, did a video, and go check it out. It's kind of cool. It runs. And you get to see a little my prowess with a shotgun. Maybe one day I'll bring you to a trap night when we're shooting money games. We shoot for big money, and we get in as many games as we can, sometimes 20, 25, and you can walk out of there with a wad, let's just say. It'll pay for a lot of guns for videos, put it that way. But yeah, the old man's pretty good at that. So it's always fun. Maybe I'll bring you a video and take you to the club and show you what it's like there and how these guns go, or how these money games work. You know, you got 5, 6, sometimes 7 guns up at a time. And first guy shoots. If he misses, second guy shoots. If he misses, third guy shoots. Whoever hits it, the ones that missed are out. So you'll have a guy hit it on a 6, like a foot above the ground, you know. And there's some really good shooters, some of the best in the Midwest, maybe the country. It's just one of those clubs that attracts excellent, fabulous shooters. And you run heavy handicap rounds, and it's fun. And the guys, it's so fast. You better know what you're doing and if it's your turn or not. Because all of a sudden, the 5 guys in front of you are boom, 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 and it's your shot, and you're throwing the gun up late. You got to pay attention. That round goes fast. You'll have 50 guys on the line for a game, and it'll be down to the last 2 in 4 minutes. You know, you can't miss a bird. If you miss your bird, or even a backup, if you miss it, chances are you are getting shot out. If you miss your own bird, you can forget it. If you get a pass, meaning it's your turn, you call the bird, your first shot, and you miss, and the second guy or third guy or fourth guy or fifth, sixth guy doesn't hit it, whoo, That's your only pass of the night. I promise you, you are getting smoked. If you can't miss two birds all night. And normal shot trap is shot from 16 yards. It's where you normally shoot. Your handicaps go back from there all the way to the 27-yard line, which is the furthest handicap. We shoot from 35 yards. So think about that on a sixth gun when that bird is way the hell out there. We shoot at night under the lights, white birds, and it's fun. So it's late summer, and when it's light out late, we'll start with orange birds, and then as it gets dark, we switch over. And sometimes around dusk, when those last of the orange birds are coming out for a game, it's hard to see them. Or you get a quick right or something, and six guys swinging on that bird. It's fun, and it's really cool to watch. And it's more fun to be in it. But if you're good with a shotgun and want to give it a try, message me, and I'll get you out there. But I mean good with a shotgun. I don't mean just, hey, my buddies think I'm a good shot out pheasant hunting. I mean, you know your way around a shotgun. And you got the right shotgun for it. You're shooting 32-inch barrels, full chokes, and rounds that can get out there. Guys with release triggers, $20,000 Parazzis, Ludics, all kinds of stuff. It's not a poor man's sport, that's for sure, but it is a lot of fun. And that being said, I know one guy there. I've known him since I was a kid, and he's still shooting. He's got to be over 70, I would think. He still shoots the Grand American every year, and he still wins games every Wednesday and every Sunday. And he shot an 870 for as long as I've known him. And he's a good old boy. When he needed to lengthen his length of pole, he put a piece of plywood in between the stock and the pad and kept on going. He has worn out 2 or 3 870s over the years. And that's impossible, especially with the old guns and the Wingmasters. And he's done it. And Remington gives him new guns. He's just, I don't even think he's officially sponsored. He's just been around so long and so great that they just give him guns. An amazing dude. He's an auto mechanic by trade, and what a shot. It's a lot of fun. Maybe we'll get a video out at the club. I don't know how I got on that. Oh, guns. So that TriStar, the Vepr, the VR80, and our Beretta 1300. What a magnificent gun. Love it. I have the opportunity to get a Benelli M4 LE edition. Well, the dealer said it was an LE edition. I pulled it out of the safe. I was holding it, checking it out. It's got the stock, everything. And I tried to adjust it, and it's got the notches, but it won't lock in the middle two. I said, this is not an LE version. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I don't know if he didn't think I knew what I was talking about, but maybe I was doing something wrong. The gun was stiff. I was in a hurry. Maybe it is. I don't think so. It'll say LE on the serial number on the gun. I'm pretty sure on that. But we may make a run back down there and see about adding that M4. Tell you the truth, I think I love this 1300 Beretta, and I don't think that Benelli M4 will do anything better or run better, softer, faster than this 1300. I don't think it'll be anything enough to impress me. I'd really like to shoot one before I threw out that chunk of change, but let's talk about favorite shot. And then there's my 870, my trap gun. And then I've got other trap guns for game shooting and whatnot, but not really going to include them. I'll include my 870 because it's an 870. It can do anything. But favorite shotgun? And then we got to talk about my CZ side-by-side, and of course a Shorty coach gun side-by-side. That's made cheapy, made in Russia. And I've also got an old Rossi hammer coach gun, 20-inch barrels, I think, on that one. But of all my shotguns, and even that Mossberg coming. I already know the Mossberg. It's gonna be nice. I'm gonna like it, but it's a pump gun, and I am just having so much fun with this Beretta that by far my number one favorite shotgun is the Beretta 1300 tactical. And mine, if you saw the video, came with the pistol grip stock and the extended tube, and what else? The uh, the ghost ring sights, and we've got a Holosun 510C on there, and we added a light and a few other things that you guys haven't seen, and that is by far my favorite shotgun. By far the fastest shotgun I've ever shot. It's never missed a beat. The first day I got it, I put 5 rounds through it, and then people that came to the open house put another 500 to 700 rounds through it that day. Brand new gun. I let them shoot it, and that thing ran 2.5 dram loads that day. Brand new gun out of the box with 5 rounds through it. I opened that case and I looked, and the club only had 2.5 dram loads. I went, oh my God. And I had the Vepr with me too. And I thought, neither of these guns are going to run on it. No way in hell. They like 1,150 feet per second, maybe. I don't know. And they ran and ran all day. It never, ever missed a beat. Not once. Experienced guys shooting fast, inexperienced guys shooting slow, doing weird things, and it just ran. Tell you the truth, the Vepr ran great all day with one jam, I think. And I don't think it was gun related. I think it was operator related. But I like that Vepr. It's just heavy. I do like the mags. I like a lot of things about it. But that 1300 just feels so much smaller. It's so much handier, maneuverable, and it just does everything right and feels so good. And the length of pull, granted it's adjustable, but everything about it, the cant on it, which can be adjusted, by the way, the cheek riser, everything. I'm looking at it over here. I just love that gun. And there's nothing better to shoot slugs out of. My God, it's just a blast. It literally makes me happy every time, just thinking about going to shoot it. And so that's my favorite on that one. What favorite you guys want next? Come up with a category here. I'm going to go through here, look at some of your comments, and then we'll jump down and see what you guys want next here. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know how to shut my phone off, and it rings in the middle of a video. Let's see here. You guys were talking about snow coming. I hope you guys don't get too much. We're talking about rooftop Koreans, all kinds of stuff. Let's see what else we got here. I'm going to go through them pretty quick. Oh man, you guys are commenting. When I was growing up and everywhere, the mags weren't always good. David Inglesby has a primary arms 3x prism on his ZPAP, very accurate and holds 0. I run one on my NPAP, and I also have one that the ACSS is for 308 or 56. Like I told you guys before, it was going to go on my SAM 5, but I can't find a stock that gives me enough rise to use it. So I think I try AR-10 and see how it does. Robert S. is in the house. Good to see him. And Tommy Guns. Tommy bought 12 guns this week. He has a new safe coming. But between what he bought this week and last week, it's filled. He's talking about ordering another one. We'll see. I don't know. The safes can't get there in time. And we talked this week. He's got a problem with his flooring. It's starting to sag. It's doing one of these. So he's got to find a moving company that'll get him down in the basement. But the safes are too big. He can't get them through the doorway. They're cutting a hole in the side of the foundation, and they're just going to bring him down that way. So he's got some major construction going on just to house all this stuff. And hey, all the better. He's having that's a half hour shooting a scorpion. I don't know. What was the $120 I made you spend? Who's here? Ellen Bishop's here. In the house too. Went to the range on Sunday, put 80 rounds through a ZPAP, and hoped to break in the M70 surplus pistol, but it was a dud. Would not fire. Firing pin must be or broken. The M70 may have a dud pin. They sell extras. There's lots of parts for those babies around. Cool guns, those M70s. When I went to the Zestava shoot down south, they invited me last summer, and I got to shoot. I was one of the first ones to shoot the new 5.56 gun, and that was a nice rifle. I got to see new handguards and all that stuff. Really some neat stuff, and they had a couple of the pistols there. I want to say they had a stainless one, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember now. But I shot them. They were nice guns. Really nice. I love an all-metal gun. Something about it. I picked up a second DS Arms FAL 18. What's the difference? They make so many different models now. Paratroopers, this one, that one. If I was going to do an FAL to shoot, I would do one of the shorties, the 18-inch. Or not, that'd be kind of cool. But I think 18 in that would be nice. And I would also like, what do they call them? The Hebrew hammer. Remember those guns with the wood forends and all? They had some kits that built some beautiful ones. I would love to have one of those guns. But I don't think they're around much. And the people that have them are kind of holding on to them. So I don't know. I hope our connection is okay because it's saying I have problems. But if I do, for some weird reason, it's been working great, I will restart it. So if something happens, let me know if it's looking good or what or not. Alan's asking, anybody get any new toys since last week? I don't know. I guess we'll find out here. We heard about the FAL 18-incher. Checking in from Vegas, Pixel Face Killer. Congrats to your daughter. Glad to hear that you're keeping busy. Yeah, got to, man. Too much thinking is bad right now. Trust me. So I try not to. Try not to use the brain. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, when you got something that happens like I had, it's not good to think too much. It really isn't. You got to support everybody else in the family. Make sure they're all doing good. Joe, for me, one of the rifles I have is 5.56. I'm thinking of doing a Bear Creek side charging upper. Those are cool. And by 39, man, getting gutsy. Those are cool. And by 39, man, getting gutsy. All it is you need the right mag with that. I want to go down and see if it looks like everything's working, guys. Tell me if it's not. I just wanted to go down the chat and check. Make sure I'm not talking to nobody here. Let's see who else is here. Let's see. Oh, the $120. I know what he spent it on. He spent it on pizza, didn't you? Did you guys order some Lou Malnati's pizza out of Chicago? I got one for Valentine's Day. Man, so good. So good. My wife sent me one. It was awesome. Let's see. Okay. 0 the AR-15A4. He forgot how well those guns shoot. Yeah, right. They're fabulous. There's nothing wrong. We're an AK crowd here, a lot of us, but we got nothing against ARs at all. I got nothing against any guns. If it shoots, with rare exception, I enjoy them. Bee's Knees is here, I believe, because I see Joe saying hi, but I must have missed them here somewhere. Sorry, but let's see. Chase Kelly's here. Good. You're not late, man. We just talked. Tonight's about our favorite in every category. So far, you miss shotguns. And out of a cheapy TriStar tactical shitbox, a Vepr 12 that you guys have seen, an 870, a couple coach guns, a Mossberg 590 retrograde. That's what it's called. Retrograde. It looks like a World War II trench gun. And a couple others. My favorite, the VR80. My favorite is my Beretta 1300 or 1301 rather. Great shotgun. So that's all you missed. No big deal. Yeah, Joe says it scares him to see the guns he liked as a kid going for so much in today's economy. It is crazy, guys. It's insane. Some of them are hanging in there. I did hear that Scorpions were always like $9.95, right, for the pistol versions. The K's may have been a little more, depending, but $9.95 you could pretty much get any Scorpion pistol you wanted. And I heard they're going up 30%. There's going to be like a $300, maybe closer to $400 increase in them. I saw one at a local shop the other day, and I thought I should just pick that thing up just for the heck of it. It's the full-size pistol, not the K. And I've got that FDE version, but this one was black, and I thought, just buy it and put it away. You can't lose money. But I am working on that HK MP5, and pretty sure that's going to happen. So you will see that coming. And now that throws that whole category up for grabs, I think. Matter of fact, I kind of forgot about it. I was thinking what I was going to tell you guys on that category for braced pistols, and I forgot about that. And I don't know if I should count it yet because I don't have one. So I guess and I've never shot one. So, but I'm pretty sure it'll be my favorite. It better be for that kind of dough, right? Let's see. Joe's asking me, what did you think of how we set up my dad's 22? Oh, yeah. Joe sent me some pictures. His dad had a 1022, right, Joe? Oh, no. What am I talking about? What the hell kind of 22 was it? I can't remember. Was it a Marlin? But he set it up with some aftermarket stuff, and just neat, really cool and tactical, and just enough. He didn't go overboard, and it's so cool to see 22s turn like that. And you got so many choices. You can take a 1022. Hell, you could take a Mossberg Plinkster. You could take a Marlin. 1022 is always the go-to for mods like that. But man, you can do so much with just bolt-on stuff, today, and still have a gun that can do everything. You could hunt with it, even with a red dot. You could get some squirrels, whatever. You can just make them so cool. His dad looked really happy to have it, and he was shouldering it and admiring his new gun that Joe put together for him. I think it was an old gun. Joe just upgraded it for him. All black polymer, good looking gun. Joe did a nice job. Got to take care of your pops, right, Joe? Let's see. I am going to Serbia in May, hoping to visit the Zestava factory in, I don't know how to pronounce that. Kragujevac? I don't know. I think they have an on-site museum. I'll bet they do. And most museums will, or not museums, but factories like that will usually, sometimes you got to call ahead. I've seen a couple that, may not, but most, if you call ahead, most love to give you tours. They really do. And some, they make it in a regular event. But man, awesome. You got to get some video and some cool stuff. You got to bring us back some cool stuff. Maybe you can get some swag, ship it to the old rock. uh, my fate will be in the hands of the Balkan bus. Yeah. The way they drive over there, my God, you take your life in your hands. Do they have mountains there? Somehow I have this picture of like a Pakistani bus up in the mountains where they show them, they're tilting off the edge as they're driving around it. You ever see those videos? Holy cow. The Rock Island Defender AG-12 Defender 3-inch 12 gauge is a decent pump, but if you put the 15 pellet buck in it, it's brutal recoil. I would tell you what, guys, Rock Island is putting out some really nice stuff. Their 1911s, I bought the cheapest one they make, and it's fabulous. Love shooting it. It gets smoother and smoother. It's tight. It shoots as well as my Kimber. It's just a solid gun. And for under $500, a 1911, that's guaranteed for life. And now you step up some of their nicer guns with the skeletonized stuff and all. They really put out some nice 1911s. And for the money, I think there's nothing out there that can beat them for the money. So let's see. Roaming Preppers here. Denny's Plant-Based Journey. Enjoy my 870, but love my Stoeger M3000s. I have a few varieties, and they all run great. Stoeger makes some great shotguns for the money. They make some really cool hunting guns too. I had a Stoeger side-by-side. Nothing wrong with them. Let's see. Whoopsie. Tommy Guns. He got a 6-pack of Illuminati's delivered from Chicago for last Sunday. Not bad. People either love them or hate them because you got that whole layer of the sausage and then the whole tomatoes. It's delicious. You better, whoever your significant other is, they better eat it with you because you will reek of garlic for 2 days. Remington settled for $73 million with the families of the Sandy Hook victims. What a crock of crap, huh? Probably at that point cut their losses, but look what it did at the end of the day. It's terrible that should even be able to go on. I don't get it. Pixel Face Killer. Usually best to have several small to medium safes than the cool huge ones. Yes, sir. Yeah, make it separate stuff always in the house. If you have a gun room, a vault, safes, or maybe just keep them in cases somewhere. Never keep them all in one spot. Make it harder. Time is a thief's enemy. And if they do get past your security system, your cameras, your dogs, your bolted doors, your vaults, your safes, whatever you have, and as many as you have, it's about layers and making it harder and harder and harder. And then separating them. It's one thing to lose some, it's another to lose all. And then insurance. There's a couple good providers out there. Your homeowner's insurance is not. There's usually a max and stuff like that. High-priced items, jewelry, collectibles, firearms. So make sure you have a separate policy. Feed keeps buffering, but I heard most of your tale on the safe problems. I hope it's not still buffering, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's doing that. Why are Zanitco stocks and braces so expensive? Well, I'll tell you, Miguel Valenzuela, because there is no real importer here. There's a couple guys that have businesses that they get them here, I guess. I don't know if they're legit reps or what. There's this Ivan guy that a lot of guys go through. I bought all my stuff on the secondary market, and I'm over it. I'm really over Zanitco. I did my alpha clone, and that's that. So That's why there's so much money. They're just hard to get here. Alan Bishop scaling back on AKs. Miguel, I had a M4 in the Marines. Still prefer the AK. I love ARs. I have no problems with ARs. Love them. Let's see what else. Tommy Guns, Alan Bishop, Springfield Hellion, and the B&T SP9 moving up on the list. That B&T is a nice gun. I don't know about the Hellion. I only have one bullpup, and I think I'm going to keep it that way. I'm going to jump down here and make sure this chat's running. Yeah, it looks okay. I hope all you guys it's doing okay. I don't know why it's telling me it's bad. My end looks great, everything. So, Tommy Guns, I can't justify the prices on AKs anymore. I'm glad I have what I have. There's a few more got to come, a Polish, a few others, but I don't know. It is what it is. People talk about the good old days, right? Like you guys like to hear me tell my stories back in the day of $299 Wassers and $399 for Yugo M70s and on and on. Well, the good old days of $800 Arsenals and $1,200 Sams or $1,000 Sams isn't that long ago, maybe 2 years ago, right? 3 years ago. It's the good old days are now. They never get better. They never go back. You may see a little pullback, but the good old days are now. I've heard a lot of other guys saying this, and they're right. Ammo, sure, it'll come back a little. Price will come down a little. Is it going back to what it was? No. So my advice is keep buying. The good old days are now. For you younger guys, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, you'll be the guy telling the stories of what you used to pay. It's inevitable. Inflation, all that stuff, it just keeps on rolling, guys. The good old days are now. Ammo too. Yeah, you may stack, you already have, but it's cost averaging. Buy it now. If it drops a little, great. The averaged out, you got it for less, but you're not going to see huge moves. And if you do, you'll buy more then. Don't worry about it. Just keep buying. It's good. It's like the price of gold. I'd like to buy an ounce of gold for $200-300, right? That was in my lifetime, my adult lifetime. But at 2,000 an ounce, yeah, it got there. Dropped back, pulled back. Is it going to 400 an ounce? Never. 600? Never. 800? Never. Not happening. So, good old days are now. Buy what you can now. Going to check out a huge Colorado gun show this weekend. That's Miguel Venezuela. Let's see. Chase. What's Chase have to say? Favorite shotgun is probably my HK Silver Lion over and under. But my grandpa's Auto 5 Light 12 is amazing and can't beat an old Browning. Browning shotguns are great. I was kind of talking just about tactical end, but yeah, somehow I get stuck in my head that you guys don't care for sporting shotguns, whether they be hunting or trap guns, that kind of thing. I somehow I just get this feeling that a lot of you guys probably have never shot trap, aren't into it, think it's some mamsy pamsy sport, whatever. I grew up in it. It's what got me into guns. It's what I've done all my life. I know it like nobody's business, but for whatever reason, because we're an AK channel, I never thought anybody was really here to hear about that stuff. But I get it. We all have our, we're all introduced to the hobby, whether it's collecting, shooting, competition, whatever. We're introduced to it usually by a parent or a family member or close family friend, something like that. And when you're younger, how are you introduced? Most of the times it's either a 22 or a shotgun of some particular gauge. And that's where it starts. It starts with, target shooting and learning the safety and all of that. But target shooting, maybe throwing some clay pigeons in the backyard with a hand thrower, that kind of thing. Uh, that's where it starts. So we all have a soft spot for whatever that first gun might have been that we shot, or the first gun that was given to us for a birthday, for Christmas, whatever, along those lines. And we all can remember those days and how much fun it was and who we were with and all of that. So I guess we all like some of those old wooden stock shotguns. That's why when I got my son his first shotgun, I made sure it had wood, that it wasn't a polymer wonder, because I made sure it had wood, that it wasn't a polymer wonder, because his first gun, a 22, was a polymer stock. And that was a Plinkster. Who makes that? Mossberg Plinkster, right? And that was a Plinkster. Who makes that? Mossberg Plinkster, right? Got two matching ones. They're sitting right there. I'm looking at them. And fun little gun. But I wanted his first real gun to have a wood stock. It was a youth version 870. And wood, I use that term loosely because it was, a laminate, but it was still a nice gun. And I think that's what everyone's first gun should be, a very traditional firearm. I just think it should be. I don't know. I think every kid's first gun should either be a wood stock 1022 and or followed up by either 20 or 12 gauge wood stocked hunting shotgun. Just my take on it. I don't know. That's what my grandson and granddaughters will get. I promise you. Let's see. Make your house a hard target. Try to have someone always home. Lock up important stuff. Always be armed. Yep. We have concealed carry licenses. We go through all this trauma of picking out holsters and what rounds are we going to use in training and all this stuff. And we carry when we're out or at work or whatever. And then we get home, and the first thing a lot of guys do is take off their gun and put it away, or put it on the kitchen table or wherever you put it. And you're sitting at home, and the gun might be in the next room, on the next floor or level of the house, nowhere within reach. And, a robber or a burglary is one thing, but a robbery or home invasion, guys, why go through all that trouble? You are probably almost more vulnerable in a way in your own home, because it's your castle. You expect that nothing's going to happen. I'm home. My family's here. The doors are locked, whatever the case may be. Guys, they can be in a blink of an eye. One kick, a couple steps, and they are on you. And you're in the living room and the gun's on the nightstand. What are you going to do? Nothing. That's what you're going to do. You're going to either have a very traumatic event, or you're going to wake up dead. One of the two. That gun better be with you at all times, or within reach, wherever you are. Please, 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 guys, do that. Home invasion is the most horrific crime I think there is. It really is. Let's see. So let's get to here. Let's get to a favorite. Let's talk about when I say pistol caliber carbines. I don't know if I should break that down to braced pistol, but I'm going to lump them all together. Okay. I don't have a pistol caliber carbine. I don't see the point. I thought the braced pistols are a better way to go. Sure, you can get more velocity out of a 9 carbine, and there may be something said for that. I've thought about getting a Scorpion carbine. I just like the looks of them and all. And it would be fun to reach out a little further. But that being said, I just like the braced pistols. And what's coming down the pipe here in August is really upsetting me thinking about it. The ATF is coming down with their new definitions. And although we all commented on the public comment forum that they put out there to get everybody's opinion, and we all did that, right, guys? You all got in there. You all sent the emails. You did all of that. Trying to work against it because it helped us on the braces originally. And we're actually going to have when I say ruling, it's not really a ruling because they don't make laws, right? But they do make definitions. And the first one coming down is on the frame and receiver ruling. And that's going to suck bad enough. But the brace thing is really got me going because I love braced pistols. And, they're saying, well, they're more dangerous because they're more concealable. Well, I would bet, what do you think's more out there? You think there's more AR pistols, and by AR, I mean rifle caliber pistols, or more pistol caliber braced pistols? I would tend to believe there's more pistol caliber braced firearms out there for some reason. I don't know. I know there's a lot of ARs out there, but let me ask you this. They're saying, well, it's more dangerous because it's more concealable, right? So we're going to consider it an SBR. What's the most concealable and is used in 99% of all firearm crimes? Handguns. So why are they going after this and not the handguns? That's always been the thing with gun control, right? They want to go after everything but what's doing the crime. They want to go after the scary black rifles and the assault weapons, all of that. And when handguns are what is used in the majority of all crimes. Actually, there's not even a statistic out there. The FBI does not have a statistic for firearm crimes committed with rifles. There's a small, there is a number out there for rifles, but it's less than 1%, way less. And then they don't differentiate between modern sporting guns, assault rifles, and whatever regular rifle, right? But it is infinitesimal. It's like 0.000051, something like that. There's no stats on it. So they are used so infrequently that they can't even give you a number. But yet we're going to go after them, and we're going to go after it. And then pistol braced firearms, guarantee you they don't have a statistic on it. And I've never seen a mass shooting done with one. And it's just not a thing. It's just not a thing. They're either going to use that pistol without a brace or they're just going to use a handgun. It makes no sense whatsoever, let alone what they're estimating how many are out there. I've heard numbers 5 million, 12 million, 40 million, 50 million, and I'll probably agree with the upper end. Just knowing how many I've had over the years that have come and gone, this thing could end up costing a guy a couple $1,000s in tax stamps, right? It's horrible. And I hope it doesn't come to pass, but it sure seems like it. It seems like it's going to come down the pipe. And I think those in the industry already know it. I think the companies manufacturing braces know it. I think you're going to see some sales and some maybe some fire sales on the stuff. And let's face it, guys, if you own one of these, people are going to have to make decisions, serious, life-changing decisions as to what to do, right? What are you going to do? Not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm not telling you any of that. Not even giving you my opinion. I'm just throwing the question out there. You're going to have to make a decision. And it's a hefty decision to make, right? I listened to 28 EDU, and I think he made this statement. I may be wrong, but I think it was him. It may have been another channel. But the Revolutionary War, back in colonial days, 1776, that time frame, it was fought over a tax, a 2-cent tax on a beverage ingredient, right? Tea, a 2-cent tax on tea. Men who had way more to risk as far as possessions, wealth, that type of thing. Most of the guys, your founding fathers were wealthy men for the most part. Many lent the government money to fund the war. And that being said, everyone involved in something like that has a lot to lose, right? I mean, after all, it could be the ultimate price, right? But, they had farm, lands, this, that, the other, families. And at any moment, they could have been hung for treason, shot on the spot, what have you. They had a lot to lose. But yet they fought that war. They held their principles and went through that entire unbelievably courageous time over a 2-cent tax on tea. Now think about all the things that have been done affecting and or against the Constitution in just the last 10 years. And then think about the one right that ensures the rest of them and what's been done there for decades. And the populace has just rolled over for it. A little here, a little there, a little here, a little there. And we're where we are today. There's been some good times lately. I'll tell you that in my lifetime, since I was a young man, there was some cool stuff back then. Everyone wants a pre-ban this and a pre-ban that. Well, even in the pre-ban days, guys, there was nowhere near the cool stuff that there is now. There really wasn't. Yeah, there was some ARs out there. You had your SP1s and a couple other things, but you couldn't build. Guys weren't building tons of guns. There were a few. There were AKs, there were Chinese and this and that, but they were considered garbage, literal garbage. SKSs were considered canoe paddles. They were for the prepper crowd. They were $99, and you'd pick them out of a barrel, all banging against each other. There were some other cool things. There were Macs and Uzis and stuff like that. But all in all, there is much, much, much cooler stuff and a way bigger variety and accessories and cool stuff that you just didn't have then. You are right now in the heyday of firearms in America. The heyday, by far. You can walk in most local shops and get some of the coolest, most well-made, most reliable, outstanding sporting arms on the planet. And no one else in this world has the ability to do that like we do. Um, and I want to make one thing clear: that right is not a right given to you by a government or by a man or by a group of people. That is an inalienable right that is given to you by your creator, by your God. And that right is to be able to protect your life in whatever manner you see fit and with any implement you see fit. No one can give you back that right because they never had the right to take it away or give it. It's yours, period, from the instant you're born. Your life is the most precious thing in everyone's eyes and in God's eyes and your creator's eyes. So the right to defend that and your family and loved ones' lives is just that. I hate to use the word right. It's just inherent. It is what it is. So for a group of people, a government, a person, a ruler, a king, to say that we're guaranteeing that right, they're certainly not guaranteeing it, right? We're fighting against it every day. Just isn't a thing. It isn't a thing. It doesn't even exist. Uh, no one can take that away from you. It's you that has to make the decision of where you stand on it. Enough of the preaching. I do what I can, and I do a lot personally. I try to keep a lot of it off the channel. But all I'm telling you is it's go time. You have to make a decision because they're going to force that decision. You're either going to go along with the decision and take appropriate steps, remain within their laws, or you're going to stand on your principles and your feelings and make other decisions. So just give it some thought, some serious thought, because I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on it, either in this stream or maybe next week. What your thoughts are. And I don't want to hear, please don't anyone ever use the term, the saying boat accident on my channel. Please don't do it. It annoys me. I think it's the most BS cop out. Oh, it's funny. Yeah, I had a boating. Shut up. It's so overused and ridiculous and dumb, and all it is a cop out. So, make a decision. Make a decision. What good is it if you're hiding it, not able to use it, not able to have fun, not able to hunt, not able to protect yourself? What good is it? If that's what you're relying on, burying it, this, that, the other, then you already made your choice. And it's not a good. That's what you're relying on, burying it, this, that, the other, then you already made your choice. And it's not a good one. Anyhow, that's for that. Tommy Guns Insurance is a must. Yes, sir, when you have that kind of money on the line. And you can have all the protections in the world and you still get, robbed or burglarized, whatever. I'll tell you what's still, and everyone says it, one of the best things in the world, big dogs, lots of big dogs, and protective dogs. I'm a firm believer. Criminals will mess with a lot of stuff. They will not mess with dogs. The stuff of throwing something over the fence, a stake with something. Yeah, lots of luck. And don't leave your dogs outside. Leave them inside where they can protect your castle. And protect they will, let me tell you. Anyhow, let's see what else is here. All right. So we're talking about pistol, caliber, carbines, and braced pistols. What is my favorite? So what's out there? What do I have? What have I had? Scorpions are near and dear to my heart. I love CZ Scorpions. I just love them. Are there more quality uh, pistols, braced pistols and carbines on the market? Maybe. I've seen some weird stuff happen to scorpions. We've all seen the plastic receivers come apart. I had a problem with one of the bolts on mine, smeared a little bit and messed up the drop safety on it. Um, uh, Guys have reported out of battery events, stuff like that. I haven't really experienced any of that stuff, and I've run thousands and thousands of rounds through mine. I have put more rounds through those two guns than probably anything else I own. Maybe not as a single rifle like some of my AKs, but um, certainly combined those two pistols. Man, have I put rounds through them. And essentially, they still look new. And I had feeding issues, not with factory mags ever, but with other mags. Now they run great. Um, they're great guns, and they're just so cool. And there's such an aftermarket support for them. That's a big thing, right? Triggers and different stuff, whatever you want to put on them. That little Ruger, the Charger, has grown on me a ton. I know it has, but it doesn't seem to affect it much. It has kind of a weak ejection. They're not zinging like some of the other guns. They kind of bloop, bloop. That kind of worries me. It hasn't done anything to affect the performance. It just seems like it should be stronger for some reason. And we're only talking about pistol caliber ones right now. The MP5, man, how can you go wrong there, right? That's the most quintessential, iconic little subgun pistol there is, right? Now, I've never shot one. I've held one. I don't own one, but I'm planning on it. So I'm going to include it. And maybe my choice will change once I have it, if for some reason it doesn't live up to what I think it should be. But man, you don't get any more reliable than that. You don't get any more longevity than that. Great aftermarket support. From what everyone tells me, just the best of the best, right? I don't own a B&T. I don't own a couple of the other ones out there. What else do I have for in pistol calibers? That's about it. So I'm only going to speak of really what I have and what I know I have coming. Now, I like a B&T. Maybe I'll get one day. A Strybog maybe. That gun surprised me when I held it. The quality for the money, I think that's a heck of a gun. Others, I don't know. I can't think of any others off the top of my head right now. But I have to stick. Man, that's a tough choice, and it's between the MP5 and the Scorpion. And I'm gonna, as much as I love my Scorpion because it's so iconic, because it's reliability, all that, I'm gonna say my favorite is the MP5. At least until I shoot it, and then we'll see. Maybe I'll be disappointed. Maybe I'll still like my Scorpions more today. MP5 and MP5, and I'm hoping I can have it pretty quick. So we'll get back to comments real quick, and then we'll get to the next one. And moving through these things. Who else is in here? Who showed up? I was thinking about picking up a Rock Island 1911. In 40, and trading in my Smith & Wesson Sigma. Yeah, by all means, trade that in. Those were kind of unique guns, right? Basically a full-on rip-off of Glock. They got sued over it. They lost. They made some changes. But that gun was a Glock, man. One of these days, it'll probably be kind of worth something just for the story behind it. But you could buy those things, man. They were everywhere for what, $200? Something like that. Dirt cheap back in the day. Got a PSA AK9, hell of fun. Not looking forward to what they decide this summer. 2A EDU was saying maybe 7 million easy. I think it's just a segue to take away more and more. Absolutely. And it's way more than 7 million. The industry alone, I believe, gave numbers far in excess of 14 million. The AFT um, gave the smaller number, but in reality, there's probably well over 20 million. And maybe, I've heard 30 million, 40 million. I don't know about that, but there's a lot, guys. I know guys that have 10, 15 of them. I'll bet your average guy has at least 2, maybe 3 brace pistols. Because if you're into that, you're going to probably have a Scorpion. You're probably going to have maybe a Strybog or a B&T, or how about a Vector, and then a ton of AK9s, right? Now, I don't have an AK9. For some reason, I'm just not looking forward to that. I don't know. It doesn't thrill me. I don't know why. Just doesn't. I don't, or an AR9 for that matter, does not thrill me. As close as I get to an AR9 is that Ruger. Takes an AR grip and a few other things, but just doesn't thrill me for whatever reason. But there's a lot of them out there, guys. I'd say your average guy, if he has 1 brace pistol, he's going to have 2 or 3. I'll bet. Let us know what you guys think. What do you guys just? Let's see. The communists in charge are trying to take whatever they can get away with from us, and the AFT has been about tyranny from day one. I agree. It needs to go away. I agree. They want to disarm us all, make us slaves to them, and debt and unarmed. Yep. And who just said, let's see, Alan Bishop, he's with me. He gets it. He says, I agree, way more guns and choices and possibilities out there now than 30 years ago. Yep. Back then, guys, if you had an AK or an AR, an SP1, a Colt, or an Uzi, you were looked at as having like a screw loose, literally. Even gun guys, hunters, man, how do you get, isn't that illegal? Everybody thought that stuff was illegal. It wasn't around. And it was a small crowd for the most part that was into it. It was the guys that were getting the shotgun news and digging through the gun shows and stuff like that. But your average shooter back then, the shooting sports were way different. You didn't have 3-gun matches and guys running around in tactical gear. And, if you had tactical gear, you had a pair of jungle boots from the Army surplus store and, some fatigues, and that was about it. And your shooting sports were different. Guys shot just plain old target shooting for fun. They shot trap, they shot skeet. There were IPSC matches, 45 combat matches, stuff like that. There wasn't anywhere near what there was today. It was a big deal to build a race gun 1911. You were really into it at that point. But like today, where guys are bolting together all kinds of stuff and all, just think of the optics choices you have today. I remember when the first red dots came out. Red dots, I should say holographic sights. You thought, man, that's space age stuff. And it was big money. Big money. EOTechs, man, that was something, and that's all there was EOTech. There was nobody else. Today, you got a solid, I can think off the top of my head, 10 manufacturers all making quality stuff. Look at companies like Holosun, Primary Arms. Most of it made over in China, but they are speccing the stuff out, and it's great quality, and it's inexpensive, super inexpensive. You know, $199 red dot that will do everything you need and then some, and last too. Joe, no boating accident in this house. Only freedom fighters. There you go, Joe. Uh, the citizens of most of the countries that supply us have heavy firearm restrictions. Absolutely, they do. Gun SIG MPX for now. My X95 for official PCC. Get that H&K. Let go of that cash. Not going to be around for long. Yeah, I know. That's a good one to bring up. The SIG, the MPX. That's some nice stuff. But how do you figure the X95 for official PCC? Do they make it in a pistol? Yeah, they do. You can get the 9 conversion. That's right. And that's kind of, it's definitely a carbine. So yeah, it's in there. Yep, we can put it in there. That'd be a cool gun at 9. I've never shot one, but it'd be cool. Look at the Uzi. There's another cool gun. I mean, the original is not the mini, or micro. But now I gotta get one of those too because they quit making them. Let's see. No interest in KP9KR9. No, like I said, Pixel Face. I just, it doesn't do it for me. When I don't get me wrong, I like. I think a sub gun should be an original sub gun. You know what I mean? That was made for that purpose. And yeah, I know the MP5 can be considered, against its bigger brethren, but a Scorpion was meant to be a Scorpion, that type of thing. It's like a Mac. A Mac was meant to be a Mac. AK was originally meant to be a rifle caliber, even the pistol versions, that type of thing. So no, not much interest by me. Not to say they're not fun. I may try one and love it. I don't know. He wants one with Dead Air Wolfman. What a dream. Only because I haven't bought one yet because it's not an import. Good thinking. I don't know if you had that thought on your own or if it's something we ingrained in you here on the channel. My wife popped in the chat. Look at that. She says, I need a flashlight. Lexi took off after a deer again. Oh, my Mastiff is out chasing a deer. That's what she yelled about. Oh, God. She's going to want me to jump out of this chat, go find my dog. She'll come back. She's too old and lazy. Although, man, you should see. There's a dog. Mastiffs are interesting dogs, right? They sleep about 19 hours a day. They get up for food. They get up to go out. They get up to greet you. The other thing they get up to do is deer. Oh, my God. That dog changes from this big, lumpy, lumbering giant to the most proud. I mean, the chest is out, the muscle. That dog, it changes complexion. You just see that vicious hunter come out in it, and it's gone. Same thing when the doorbell rings or someone comes to the door, or even you better put her away before you answer the door because you've never seen a more protective dog in your life. And man, oh man, you're not stopping that dog. You are not stopping it. Crazy. So I hope she finds it because that's my baby. I'll have to go out and find it here in a bit. But where did it go? It's something when she joins in the chat, right? Never seen that before. She must be worried. Oh, well. Man, am I this far behind in the chat? No way. Where'd it go? I can't be that far back. No. I'm sorry, guys. I got lost here. I can't find my place. I'm sorry, guys. I got lost here. I can't find my place. Where the heck is it? I don't know where it went. I completely lost my place. There it is. Okay. Joe says the guns that were cool had stigma on them, especially in the band. It was terrible. Yeah, it was. Thank God during the band, my dad had, and I was young, but my dad had a lot of cool stuff. My dad was a police officer for all those years. So we didn't miss out on much, you know. He was able to have the mags and the guns, and we had a lot of it already. And it never, and I wasn't really buying things. I was younger, you know. I was under 21. So I never missed out on it. There was always something cool. And then by the time I was old enough and got back into it, it was game on. So I didn't miss much. Let's see. So Tommy has a by 95 and 9. Cool. Sounds like American Akita, huge dog. Yep. Small gas tank. This one don't have a small gas tank. For its size, it can go and keep going. And when it's on a mission, you can forget it. Yeah, Mastiffs, I guess, were originally used to hunt lions, I've heard. She found her. I found her in their backfield out of breath. So she ran about 10 acres away. Well, okay. What are you going to do? Yeah, Mrs. Rock took off after. Anyhow, what's next? What do you guys want to go next? Okay, let's do rifle calibered pistol. There are so many choices, a plethora of AR-15 pistols, AR-10 pistols. There are Galils and everything under the sun you can think of, right? Somebody's put a brace on it. Right? Man, this is such a hard decision because I've got 2 AR-15 pistols that I absolutely adore. Love them. I have AK pistols that I love. But I will say right now, although it needs some tweaking, it's my little Ace pistol. Yep. God, the thing's solid, and I'm just liking it, and I can tell the direction it's going. And with an optic and a couple other things, God, that's a great gun. I love my Sam 7 pistol. I love my AR pistols. So much cool stuff, but God, that thing, I just love it. So you guys saw the video I put out on it. I got back to the range. It's got over through it now, and I'm going to do a little video on how it's handled 1,000, what things are looking like inside, internally, and bring you that because I haven't seen much torture testing on any of them. Not that that's torture, but just show you what's going on with it and how it's held up. And if we keep shooting it like I've been shooting it, we'll be at 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 real quick. So let's see. Sam 7 and Galil Ace, says Tommy Guns. Hey, where is Dixie? Dixie is not in the chat tonight. Neither is your lady friend there, Joe. She's not in here tonight. They must have stuff going on. Joe, I've been debating doing 10.5556 just to have it. I think a 10.5 or an 11.5 AR pistol is just such a great, man, so useful, great truck gun, easy to carry with you all the time in a case, in the trunk, wherever. Just a great handy piece that doesn't leave you time in a case, in the trunk, wherever. Just a great handy piece that doesn't leave you undergunned, right? Um, and they shoot so well, and you don't get that huge a drop off out of them. That being said, that's the 7.62 round really kind of fares better in the shorter barrel lengths, right? Um, I'm not going to say they don't drop off into the abyss fairly quickly, but it doesn't. I mean, I've shot them at 150 yards like nothing, Um, and the same with the AR pistols. I mean, uh, those things are trucking at 10.5. Hell, a 7.5 inch AR 5.56 pistol at 100, it's a laser. I love it. They're all good. There's not one I don't like, but I just have so much fun with those. They're fun to shoot, easy to shoot, easy to carry with you in a case, in a backpack, whatever. Um, just nice, just nice. What's my favorite everyday concealed carry? Good point. So I should separate my favorite full size pistol and my favorite concealed carry. My favorite concealed carry by far is my SIG 365 XL. Um, I don't care for the regular 365, just too small. Yeah, I know I can put a mag in it. My pinky won't hang off. But the little bit extra all around in that gun just makes it perfect. And yeah, it's the size of a Glock 19, but it feels and looks so much smaller than a Glock 19. It's thinner, the grip, the width isn't all that much smaller, but it just feels, looks, and carries so much smaller for whatever reason. In reality, it's pretty darn close to the same footprint, but however they did it, it's just marvelous. So I really like it. I never feel undergunned with it. Um, Plenty of rounds. Carries well. I can have it on me all day, all night, and not even know it's there. It's never failed me. It's never missed a beat. I've never had a failure of any sort from the gun. It shoots all whatever I feed it, no problem. I still have the red dot on it. And believe it or not, it's the only pistol I have with a red dot, and I'm getting used to it. My muscle memory was so ingrained that I was going to just keep the irons on it, but it's getting better and better and better. I'm getting faster and faster and faster with it. So that is by far my favorite. Let's see. I can't see putting a K&S piston in a gun. Well, if there's one I would want to put it on, it's the Sam 5. But I don't know. Taking that gun all down and changing it up, I don't know. I don't know that it needs it. I don't feel that it's harsh in any way, shape, or form. Feels perfect. Joe says Shelly Cat Lady and Loretta are busy roaming. Was Discord friend too. They are in the prepared group I'm with online. You should share that with me, Joe. Maybe I'll join up over there. Loretta has surgery tomorrow for kidney stones. Oh, well, I always, you look at that from a male point of view, right? You don't think about women having that problem. Somehow, when you talk about kidney stones in men, it seems much more, I don't know. I don't know. But man, I don't wish that on anybody. No fun. Squeaky cooler made it in. Things get much worse. I'm going to start holstering my micro Draco. It's funny you say that. That Ruger, the 9 pistol, the whatchamacallit? I want to say Challenger, but you know what I mean. That gun, when you have a short mag in it and the brace folded and all, it's so small, and with the grip and all, it feels like I could have a holster on it, like a blaster holster from Star Wars, right? Or it almost feels like a little bit bigger version of an FN 57, right? Or the Ruger 57 for that matter. There's a gun we forgot about, the PS. Now, do we consider that a rifle caliber or pistol caliber? I guess both. I guess pistol caliber for sure, and rifle caliber too. Both. That's maybe the one that kind of crosses over in a way, because there's a true pistol for it and a true rifle for it. Although I guess it's carbine. But yeah, interesting choice there. But that Ruger, I always felt like with a big enough holster, I could holster it. Certainly without a brace, and certainly with like a 17 or 23 round mag, it'd be perfect. That'd be kind of cool if somebody came out with a holster for that. That'd be really cool. Kydex, click it in. Have to have the drop holster, like with the strap around your leg. That'd be awesome. Let's see. I used to carry my braced BCM 12.5 in my truck when I went up north, but now my X9. That is the big plus to Tavors, in my opinion. The AUG too, but for some reason that those Tavors just you tend to forget about it, right? You got a 16-inch barrel, all the power, all the accuracy, in almost a braced pistol format, right? They are. It's a shame more people don't consider them as a main weapon, because they're ingenious. They're so compact, so maneuverable. There's so many good things about them. And on the X95, the trigger is so much better, and can even be made better than that. There's really no drawback to them now, other than maybe the manual of arms, getting all that muscle memory for reloads and all that, unless you are just shooting that gun, right? But yeah, it's certainly something it's really underplayed, under talked about. It's such a great cross between all of it. It really is. Kidney stones ain't no joke, says Orion. Passed my first lately. Thank God they were the size of grains of sand. A grain of sand hurts that bad? I don't know that I'd notice it. I don't know that I'd notice something that small. Hell, I don't know if I'd notice a pea. Size of a pea, I meant. That's funny if you caught it. At least I found it funny. I can make myself laugh once in a while, right? You be careful, Orion. I passed one years ago. It hurt me bad. Oh, brother, you got that right. Tommy, people always say a short 5.56 is garbage ballistics, but I always argue within 100 yards, which is where you'd be using one. for self-defense. Nobody's gonna get, yeah, that's true. Everybody says it's the same with the AK, with the 7.62 argument, right? Where the hell, for the majority of the population in the US, with the exception of some plain states and out west, maybe a bit, 99% of all encounters, even in without rule of law scenario, an SHTF scenario, self-defense scenario, anything, where are you ever going to engage over 100 yards, for that matter, 150? You're not. Okay. If there was some situation that you may think about, or you're planning for, or is it one of those, that they kind of about, or you're planning for, or is it one of those, that they kind of rank in there with conspiracy theories. Where is that going to happen, where you are popping off consistently 300-yard shots, 400, 500, this, that? Okay, maybe a sniper situation, but you're going to be have the correct weapon for that. As far as that go to war gun, life and liberty gun, 150, you're good to go. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. Now, if I can make a 16-inch or 14 and a half welded pin just as easy to carry, and I kind of did with our go to war AR with the law folder and all, and the 14 and a half welded and pinned, it's hard to make a case there, maybe like a 10 and a half, 11 and a half versus that gun. I guess at that point I just carry that gun. That's why I built it. But I would not feel outgunned in very few, if any, situations I can think of. And I live rurally, and lots of open farm fields and all of that. But, are you just lobbing shots in somewhere? Chances are it's going to be much more up close and personal. So I would never worry about if I chose a rifle caliber braced pistol. Never. And then the best of both worlds. And I know a lot of guys hate them, the Tavors, but until you try one, until you shoot one, don't knock it. And I have to get out to the range and really do a follow-up video on, and really just shoot the hell out of it. Such a great gun. So Joey mailed me an invite to that little preparedness group. Maybe longer distance if you're citizen in Ukraine. Yeah, what's going to happen there, guys? Is it going to pop off? I don't know. I don't know if we'll, who knows? It's just a war exercise. That's all. That's all we're doing. A couple 100,000 troops, munitions, vehicles, ships, helicopters, airplanes. What's $1 billion here or there, Imagine just what it's taken to keep them there all this time. And I heard the news say, oh, they've got 150,000 men there. I'm pretty sure they've had 150,000 there for quite some time. I forget how many battle groups. They talk about how the Russians are, they're called, it's three initials, BFL, or they're battle groups essentially. And they have enough battle groups there to more than take back two of those states, similar to the Ukraine. They have enough there to take two. Like they could take that and maybe Romania or that and whatever. Hell, they might be able to take on Poland. I don't know. It's certainly going to be interesting. And if it does happen, the response to it will really be interesting. I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen. I really do hope it doesn't. I have a lot of empathy for the Ukraine right now and its people. Um, it's no joke when you are protecting the homeland, the motherland, right? How'd you like to be going to bed tonight? Who was in here with talking about their two little kids? How'd you like to be laying in bed tonight with those two little kids snuggled up between you and your wife, and you're worrying about what's going to happen in the morning or tonight or whatever? Going to bed like that. Not much fun, is it? Not a good thought. Wondering when it does hit. And even now, I'm sure things are in short supply over there, right? I'm sure there's been runs on everything. Um, how'd you like to be worrying about how you're going to feed those little babies tomorrow or next week or a month from now? It ain't no joke. And it ain't what people think. It ain't the movies. It's not Wolverine's mother. Yeah, it's none of that, guys. It's the real deal, and it's a horrible, horrible thing. Uh, the civilian populations suffer more than anyone. Look at World War II. 35, they estimate 35 million civilians died in that conflict around the world. 35 million. That's like half of the casualties during the war. That's crazy. And then on top of that, think of the survivors and what they went through. I know what my wife's mother and grandparents went through. They lived in Germany, and they got up every morning and went outside and checked to see what buildings were still left standing on their street. And obviously theirs was. But every morning there were a couple more buildings gone. One morning, a neighbor, my wife's grandfather was one of the only men in their town in Germany there that was left at home because he was a Swiss citizen. He went to Germany for work. There was a lot more work there. And he worked for a dairy, which was a big deal because he had access to things like butter that was worth more than gold, way more than gold. Milk. What if you had a little kid, you know? So he could, although he had to be very careful because he could be shot for it, literally. He could use butter and get whatever they needed. But he was one of the only men left in town. One morning after a big bombing, neighbor, two ladies, older women in their 70s, the way he made it sound, 70s, 80s, came out and said, Hans, you have to help us. There's a bomb in the house. Well, they were dropping what I assume were, like, he described them as fire bombs, but they were cluster bombs. The main bomb would break open, these little bombs would come down, and they were incendiary. Well, one had went through the roof of this neighbor's home and landed on the staircase going up to the second floor, where it lay unexploded. And they wanted him to get it out. He couldn't understand what they were saying. He understood the language. They didn't know what they were describing. And he said, I walked in and I took one look, and you can imagine the thought that ran through his head. It was a, oh crap moment. And he thought, well, what do I do? And he picked it up, he carried it outside, and he put it as far back of the house as they could go, equidistant from the neighbor that was behind him. And there was a small outbuilding between them. And that's where he put it. I could tell you, we should do a live stream on just the stories he related to me about the war and being in Frankfurt and another town too that they lived in and what went on. These are firsthand accounts told directly to me. I have some of them videotaped, but it's on an old camcorder tape. I have no way of playing it back. If I could find a Sony camcorder that took those little tapes, I would gladly convert it over to video and put it on the channel because it is priceless. He's gone. He passed away a few years ago. But the stories, they converted the trucks at the dairy to run on wood, steam essentially, but not a steam engine. The smoke from the wood is flammable like gasoline. And they plumbed it to the carburetor, and their dairy trucks delivered the dairy goods off wood-fired stoves that they built on board the truck. Out of a barrel, they would fire them up. They had to fire them up early in the morning and get that wood really cooking to enable to run them, because you have to get the wood has to be almost like at the form of charcoal, where it's not producing flame really, but smoke from the glowing embers is the way he put it. And I said, and they ran? He says, oh yeah, they had to jet them and adjust the carbs right for it, but they would run. They would not have the power of gasoline, but it was enough to run these trucks to deliver the dairy products day in and day out throughout the war when there was no gasoline. The amount of ingenuity and the heart these people had, and just the sheer will to keep going and get jobs done when they had to, is astounding. And to hear it firsthand, this guy who had this, my mother-in-law was a baby in a baby carriage at that point. And he had a son a couple of years older, so 2, 3, a toddler. And they made it through the entire war. He even tells one time, I'll be brief because I want to save this. That's a great idea I just had. You guys will be enthralled. I promise you it won't be boring. But here, real quick, and then I'm going to go to the blade of the week. There was a big, this was toward the end of the war. The Americans were almost there, and the Russians were coming the other way, and the Germans were fleeing. So they had gotten news that this was all happening, right? And he said, you know what? We haven't left the city yet, but it's time to get out of Dodge. It's going to go down today, tomorrow, whatever. Figured he'd load up the family and head out to the countryside. So he loads up the family in the dairy truck, and his boss told him, get your family out. Everybody was going. He said, take the truck, get your family out. He's heading out of town, and he gets a couple miles out, and here comes some Germans, and they're hightailing it this way, but walking, marching, and they block the road, halt, this and that. They tell him, turn this truck around. You're driving I don't know if it was back into Berlin or back into wherever they were, but the Americans were hot on their tail. And they knew that they couldn't keep pace ahead of them unless they had a vehicle. So they made him turn the truck around, and he argued with them. He said, no, I'm not going to. And of course, they, pointed their weapons at him and made him do it. So he turned it around, and he got him back to the edge of town, and he pled with them, please, let me. And they did. They jumped off. They were in town. He turned back around, went back where he had been, got out to the countryside, and there was a grove of trees. He pulled the truck off the road into the grove of trees, and they were going to hold up there for the next day or so, or at least that night. It was later. The sun was going down at that point. So he saw this grove of trees. He couldn't see what was around it too much, but he figured he was good. He got him out of town, any bombing or anything, because it was really coming that night, they were told. And he got him there. So they were in the trunk, sleeping, got the kids put down, all of that, had a little whatever they had for dinner. And as the sun was coming up, all hell broke loose all around him. What he didn't realize when he pulled into that grove of trees that night was that just on the other side of the grove of trees was a munitions plant. And they were bombing it and strafing it, and the troops were coming, and it was just, they were in the middle of it, and it was dropping all around them. And he thought, if I pull the truck out of the trees here, they'll see it and the planes will strafe us, and that'll be the end of that. So they got under the truck and dug. He said he dug with his bare hands till he didn't have nails anymore, and he was bleeding. And they put the kids under there, and they crawled on each side of them, and they waited it out. And uh, the truck was hit by shrapnel, a bunch of other stuff, but they made it. And he made it back here to tell me the story. Um, just amazing. Absolute. I'll tell you, many. I would sit at his kitchen table with him. They had a small condo, perfect, neat as a pin. You have no idea. And we would sit there and have Jaeger and Hockershore Weiss beer and hard-boiled eggs and just some great food. And I'd run the camera and ask him questions, and he'd answer them. And I got it all on video, and it's priceless. It's a shame my son never got to see that, because I kept telling him I was going to do it, get the camera, and I didn't. He knew his grandfather, his great grandfather, actually. But he was still younger when he passed away. But he did get to talk to him about some of the stuff, so that was neat. But you talk about a time and a place, and his rare situation of being a man back there in Germany, and an entire neighborhood relying upon him, and the things that went on. I'll tell you a story about shoe polish and how that almost got him killed when the SS came to search, and different things they would do to this day, to the day they died. When they talked about certain subjects, they'd whisper because someone might hear them talking, and that could get them killed. And my wife's grandmother, to the day she died, would whisper about certain subjects. Like, it was so ingrained in her, and she was so fearful that to the day she died, she would whisper when talking about certain subjects. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Absolutely. And when the Americans came into town, finally, when they came into Germany, and the celebrations that went on, I wait to hear the stories. Some are hilarious, some are terrifying, some are absolutely atrocious, gut wrenching. It can go on for hours and hours. It's going to make for a great live stream. And matter of fact, we're going to do that next week. So we didn't get through the other stuff. We'll hit that up some other day, but I want to show you the blade of the week for the few of you that are left and have hung in to the end. I told you this is an iconic blade. It is, there's been many tales told about it. Its value has increased exponentially. It was used by special forces and others in Vietnam. And to this day, it is known as one of the best fighting knives on the planet. Mercenaries all over the world used it, and it is considered one of the finest, best fighting blades ever made. And who knows what this is? Anybody? That is a Gerber. And it's a Mark. Actually, I don't even know what it is. So I'll show you the sheath, but here's the blade, and it is a, damn it, I'm not going to be able to read it once you know it. They're all serial numbered and all. I don't know what it is, a Mark something. I'll do a video on it. But this is the blade. It's an original Gerber fighting knife, and extremely sharp. Has a sawtooth blade. There's some that are older than this one that had green handles and whatnot, but it's a metal handle. This is before Gerber commercialized everything. This is what Gerber made their name on, these Mark series knives. And these things were used by special forces and specialists that, like the old sayings go, 1,000 ways to kill you with their pinky. Well, 1,000 ways to kill you with this thing. The pommel was a skull crusher, that type of thing. But it's a long knife. It's a solid 8 inches, maybe 9, somewhere in there. They're serial numbered. Some are worth more than others, but they're all worth money. Here's the original scabbard for it. It would go on your belt. It would work. It could hook on a web belt. It also had the leg strap because it's a long knife, and it came with a small pocket here with a sharpening stone in it. There you go. And it's a unique sharpening stone because it's kind of angled like a chisel. Very fine stone, but it came with it. And these knives became famous. Everybody wanted one. Soldiers wanted one when they were over there. This was kind of the elite knife to have, and very, very cool. This was purchased in the early 70s, I believe, by my dad. And it's just one of those iconic pieces. Really, really cool. There's some fakes running around, I'm sure. This is not, I have the original box. This knife has been carried by my father. It's got a little wear on the sheath. You can tell it's not stiff and new. This knife has been used, but it has not been sharpened, and it's in mint condition. Even this sheath is not bad. There's a little wear on the back, but it's pretty much perfect, and got the box for it and all. I don't know. I haven't looked in a long time, but years ago, a decade ago, it was probably somewhere in the $500 to $800 range, I think. So I don't know what they're worth today, but it's not about the value. It's just cool to me, and it was my dad's. So cool stuff. So that's kind of different. I wanted to show you guys that. Hope you liked it. I won't miss it for the world. Sounds awesome. I'll send invite out to get more here to listen to it. So it'll be cool. That's a wood gasifier. Yes, that's what they used in the truck. That's a gasifier. I've seen that used on Mountain Men. That guy that did all the logging, the one guy in that show, they ran their truck on a gasifier, tried to. And it did run for a while. But yeah, it works. It takes a lot of work to get it right. Kind of a war state for a while. Yes, it has been. Ukraine has been a war state for a while. They're a little more hardened than most. Yeah, they showed some women up there with a baby on the hip and an AK in the other hand, up there defending the border. Crazy. Hey, you do what you got to do, right? When it's your homeland. All right, guys, we are 2 hours in. We've lost the majority of our viewers here. I appreciate y'all showing up. You guys want one more favorite? I can't do the AK because I still got more coming in that series. But I'm going to do my favorite AR. And that's even a tough one, man. But, oh, God. It's my what I called my go-to-war rifle. The most recent video built on the Thunder Ranch rifle. Just a magnificent rifle all the way around. That's probably one of the hardest to pick because I got so many good ones for different purposes, from target shooting to it's just hard to pick. Favorite full-size pistol? My P320 M17, by far my favorite pistol. As far as like a heritage pistol, I like 1911s. They're my favorite pistols to shoot. But if I had to pick one all-time favorite, best all-around pistol, defensive use, fun to shoot, accurate, all of that, my M17 SIG. God, what a great pistol out of the box. Out of the box without one change. Great pistol. That's my favorite. So I'll leave you with those two. We didn't get to go into them much, but then again, most channels would just rattle them off and that'd be that. We went in depth and we went sideways and we covered other stuff as usual. I think that's what's cool about this channel is it's conversational. I don't plan it. We give a vague topic, we go into it, and it leads to stories. And I tell you, my stories and my knowledge that I can share, that of little bits and pieces I've gleaned over the years, that may have some history to them, may have some knowledge I can spread to you, maybe some knowledge from older generations, family members, other men in my life I respect and have given me good advice. And I just like to help spread it to you guys because knowledge is power. And if you take knowledge to the grave with you and don't pass it on, what we think as everyday knowledge or think everybody knows, in a lot of cases isn't. Today, even me growing up in the 70s, 80s, 60s, I know things that my wife's generation doesn't know, and she's only a couple of years younger. It's stuff you can't not share. You have to share it because one day, without sharing it, it'll go away. Valuable things will be lost. Some of the old ways that can be very important, still useful, or could be useful in certain situations, would be lost and not known. Simple things that could mean the difference between being comfortable and not being comfortable, being alive and or dead. Different stuff that we take for granted. So I like to share it and pass it along. And hey, I still say I'm going to do a channel that's called What Gray-Haired Guys Know. And I'm going to interview older guys with more gray hair than me and let them give their best tips or talk about things that may have been everyday knowledge to them in the 40s and 50s. And today, even people from the 70s and 80s don't know about it, let alone today's things can be fixed, what you can use to do this and that. It's amazing. And I think we'll start it all off next week talking about the experiences of my wife's grandfather and grandmother and mother in wartime Germany. We will talk in depth about it, the stories he related firsthand. It will be really informative, really cool. Some of it will keep you on the edge of your seat. Some of it you'll find amazing. But to see it from the other side is interesting. And then to see it on the other side, who is now this side, is interesting as well. And yeah, it's just amazing. Truly were the greatest generation ever. They truly were. And when people say that, they don't just mean the soldiers. They mean anyone that fought for the U.S. Or built or made supplies in this country to keep it going, as well as the German civilian population, and for that matter, even the everyday German soldier, because at the end of the day, they were doing what they thought and were told was right. And I mean, by no means am I saying that some of the atrocities that happened were forgivable or anything like that. Never, never, never. Matter of fact, my wife's grandmother and her mother were persecuted under some of those atrocities. So our family on that side lived it firsthand. I can tell you that. But Yeah, just amazing. And there's so much to be learned, so much to be learned. Um, and we're going to bring it to you. So I don't know why I never thought of it before, but it's going to be good. So stay tuned, and we'll get you some videos this week. I am going shooting tomorrow. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. And I'm going to have some fun, and we'll get you some videos. We'll see you next week with the World War II stories, firsthand knowledge, and it's going to be a blast. Until then, guys, please, please, please stay safe. Uh, Protect you and yours. Like I always tell you, speak your mind, live on your principles, defend the Constitution, and defend those God given rights. And like I asked earlier, think about your choices. We'd like to hear about your choices, and we'll talk about that next week too. So until then, thanks, and thanks for coming here. Thanks for doing what you do and supporting the channel. Share it, tell your friends about it, get them in here, get them involved. The more we get involved, the more fun we have. And it is a lot of fun. I didn't probably get to read a ton of them, but just like 2AEDU says, I always go back through and read them because I miss something. You guys email me. I get all the emails, and sometimes I don't see them for a while. Other times I see them and I want to get back to you. I don't have time. And it just gets away from me, but I always try to respond. I got through a few this week. Um, Somebody asked about Fred's shop. It's Fred Pickering Customs, and they're in Michigan. Look them up. Fred Pickering Custom Guns and Ammo. And he's more than willing to help you guys out. And cool shop, cool place, lots of cool stuff, tons of knowledge, and a great guy, just a great guy. Truly has a heart. And I appreciate everything he does for our channel, what he's doing. He's got to give me, we need time together where he can give me a lesson on cast bullets. And that's coming up because I need to learn about that. But we got some other cool stuff too coming along. And guys, next week during the stream, we are giving away a little prize. It's going to be something we talked about last week. I'm sending one person a Lou Malnati's pizza. So that's what we're going to do next week. And there may be one other giveaway. It, after all, is KOFFEE and KALASHNIKOVS. And I'm going to give away a bag of my favorite coffee that we talk about. It's from Michigan, actually. So be ready for that. We'll have a little pop quiz, and we'll get some cool stuff to the winners. We're coming up on 6,000 subscribers, guys. So share, get them over here, get us above it. I don't know why this thing hasn't been moving, mostly because I haven't been putting out a lot of videos and just doing these live streams. But hey, refer your friends, get in there, check out some old videos so you get something to talk about next week. And until then, be safe. As always, Rockford Ordnance out. Good night, Joe. I got to say good night to Joe. Thanks.